showcases a man who's basically unseen by society, nameless, and kind of spat on, bullied, pushed around, and they have no agency or control in their lives at all. One of them takes comfort in what IKEA furniture they're gonna get. The other one
Have you heard of Lolly?
Lolly.
The free money app that nobody knows about. Every time I get a cup of coffee, I'm getting free cash.
one tries to be a clown and is basically a failed comedian that no one takes seriously. And eventually, all of this shame and humiliation gets repressed so deep that there is a massive amount of overcompensation that comes out in the form of violence. This has been a theme, I think, in current times with other situations. And in extreme situations, you have like the whole incel situation or even the school shooting thing. This is not a unique or uncommon thing that you see in the first world. The state of masculinity, whatever you want to conceptualize that at, is very fragile. People can't even really define what gender roles even mean, but in a more traditional sense, the idea of asserting your boundaries, perhaps using more of your aggression for hopefully healthy means, to physical strength, to I don't know, discipline yourself in order for personal growth. All of these concepts in today's world is either mocked or not taken seriously or completely shamed upon. I think if anybody, especially a man, asserts their masculinity these days, especially on the internet in a more casual sense or whatever else, it's very quick to define that as toxic masculinity and just like dangerous and violent and whatever else. But unfortunately, the more you repress those urges, especially as a man, the more likely it's about to come out in very, very unexpected ways. I really heavily doubt Will Smith decided to go to the Oscars or the Grammys or the Oscars with the plan of smacking the host in the head. I would expect Kanye West to plan to do that. To be honest, if Kanye West came there and did that, I would be like, of course he did. He probably planned that 3 months ahead in terms of a marketing strategy. Will Smith, I think, had an extreme emotional outburst because Chris Rock made a bald joke to his wife. I think that's the result of a lot of repressed humiliation that he possibly had suffered in the last few years. One last thing I want to cover is the idea of like, because he's a celebrity or they're a public figure or a person sharing things publicly, everyone has the right to an opinion, especially they also have the right to insult and mock and shame and criticize and whatever else. And to be honest, man, yeah, sure, freedom of speech, people can express whatever they want, but it's just kind of a shitty thing to do. To be honest, it's just like, it's not a polite thing to do, and you're not a good person for doing it. There's lots of layers of nuance to this, but this is the very thing that's kind of really steered me away from being public on social media or even indulging on any of it these days. It's just a bunch of like other resentful, repressed people that finally find an outlet to express their disgust or with themselves to other people. That being said, I don't think just because you're out there publicly online means you are completely susceptible to other people insulting you all the time. This has literally only been an outcome for the last 15 to 20 years. The state of technology now allows the average person to express their uncalled for shitty opinion to everybody directly. 20 or 30 years ago, if somebody was going under some sort of drama or gossip, if somebody was cheating on somebody, that information would literally go as far as their physical social circle. So like your grandma might gossip about that to your uncle behind your back, but they won't even bring that up to you, to your face, because most people don't want to criticize or insult anybody to their face because they just don't have the balls to do it, but they'll talk behind the person's back. Before, with other celebrities and public figures, it was only like truly A-list celebrities that would only be talked about through tabloids or like E-entertainment news. And that's it. The average person only gossips about them through in their living room with also their grandma. They're just whispering about God knows who, Michael Jackson, in only within their own family to the TV. Nowadays, you can literally talk shit in a DM or a tweet directly to the public figure. And there's no gatekeepers in between anymore. Before you had like agents, and then you had other representatives and personal assistants, and then it's just like a TV gossip news column or a magazine column that you would have to actually buy to read about. Nowadays it's like, oh great, verbal abuse downloaded in 2 seconds on my screen here. It's like ridiculous. That being said, my personal opinion is that just because you're online, you're a social media person, a public figure, if you're a regular person online, it does not make you susceptible to obvious criticism and abuse. That's why I, to be honest, don't really want to be doing this shit anymore. I just need to get my bills paid, you feel me? That being said, that's my opinion on the Will Smith, Chris Rock situation. I hope Chris's chin heals correctly and